Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, good, Andy.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
I'm going to tweet a little bit. Hello?
Sound okay?
Yeah, it's cool now. It kind of like just tweets in and out a little bit. Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad.
Sorry, I'm just going to grab my drink.
No.
Yeah, so what have you been up to?
Well, I'm doing 5 days a week NHS now. So I was 4 days a week, but I'm having to go around childcare and then doing not doing very much private at all at the moment. Just a couple of patients a week. But, you know.
Are you doing your regular job there?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm not. No, I'm doing is shut down at the moment. So they call it redeployment. So I'm going out to people's houses and so people they don't call it being discharged anymore, but they're evacuated. So
Right.
once they're medically healthy, even if they can barely walk, if they can barely move, it's like, right, you're out. So you have these people who are in pretty bad ways, and they can't really look after themselves, but they're being rushed home to get them out of the unsafe environment of the hospital, because their chances of getting sick are probably a bit higher in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not exactly in my comfort zone at the moment. I'm just trying to get people to stand from a chair or take a couple of steps, and that's about the limit of what they can do. So, but you do what you can, you do what you have to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I thought for us, in comparison to you, we're living the high life. Yeah, I know a few people who are still working, and I know quite a few people who are still working like hospitals or in care homes, places like that. You know, I've got nothing to complain about. Remember them talking about those guys that are doing their work. I'm being bored now and then. But
my missus was working on the COVID wards, so she's really right up there on the front line, I guess. So that's kind of a bit scary, but fingers crossed, nothing bad has happened so far. So
yeah. It's tough, isn't it? I can't even imagine what it's like. I can't imagine what it's like going to work. But I suppose that's why people are like kind of being said that they're in the front line now. They're just like, I don't know, they're a different breed, aren't they? There's a reason why they all go into care, and it's because they put other people in front of themselves.
that's it. Yeah, and I'm quite fortunate. I haven't had to deal with any COVID patients or anything like that. So the stuff I'm doing is really easy in comparison. But for wife and her friends, they're right up there in one of the busier, bigger hospitals dealing with. Yeah, seeing some awful stuff, but it seems to be getting a little bit better than it was.
Yeah,
a few less patients men. So
a few less. Sorry, you cut out then a little bit, Andy. Sorry, mate.
I was just saying, I think it's turning around a bit. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
How are you keeping yourself busy now? You're doing a bit of coaching still. You're putting your programs out, keeping people motivated.
Yeah. So I've got. I'm doing everyone that was training in the gym. Obviously, is not. This is our 5th week of shutting the doors now. So we've been keeping in touch with people online regards their training. I'm not doing stuff like this through training, so I'm not doing like Zoom sessions or anything like that. What I'm doing is they're just following their own program, what they've been following. The same software to track the program, to track the training. And the first week that we were all off, I had a consultation with them all, and just getting some ideas of like what equipment they had, how much space they had, did they have a garden, the usual, just like try to get like you would for a normal consultation, but a lot less equipment.
Yeah.
And then we've devised a program out of that. So basically, all those guys that are doing group training, they're pretty much on like a one-to-one kind of like a training program now. So they look quite similar, but it's the same kind of movements, just different equipment.
You're having to individualize more.
Yeah. So the way I've done that, because they are still on group training, some of them are keeping in touch with each other while they're training, and we have a look. So straight after this, I've got to catch up with them.
Oh, cool.
Just because it's been a few days since I spoke to him, so we'll have a quick catch up, see how they all are. This is week 4 of their program, so I'm not, because the parameters changed a little bit in regards to like deloads and things like that. I'm not overly fussed about putting like a full week or quite a bit of time in as a deload. So I'm just planning now for their next block of training. So we're just setting challenges. So I'm giving them one of 4 challenges that they've got to choose. So it's going to be a pistol squat, handstand or headstand, however you want to say it. Strict push-ups for reps, and what's the other one? A pull-up. So they've got one of 4 movements that they can target.
So you strict push-up for reps, and then I lost you.
Oh yeah, so I can't remember where I got to. So it was a pistol squat, strict pull-up for reps, a headstand, and pull-up.
Okay.
So whatever they choose their challenge, their next block of 4, 8, 12, however long we've got of this, will reflect that. So it'll all be based around what their challenge is going to be.
It must be so difficult for you because we're totally in the dark. We hear these odd bits, but we don't know how long this thing is going to go on for. So it's good setting them challenges, like keeping them like having clear goals in mind to keep them motivated. And yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I think one of the few things I'm pretty good at is not concentrating too much about what's going on in the future or what's happening in the past. I'm pretty much what it is. So I'm pretty good at just concentrating on what we've got, what's happening right now, this minute. I'll worry about 4, 5, 6 weeks time when that gets here. Because sometimes when you speculate too much, you kind of get paralyzed by analysis, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Have you in this kind of I'm not. I guess I guess it is downtime because you're not doing your regular role. Have you been kind of thinking a lot more about things? Have you been contemplating training more, or how you deal with clients? Or
I'm definitely finding the challenge of training quite rewarding. So I'm learning more about how my body moves. I'm training differently. So I'm doing a lot reps in the high rep range just to try and get that stimulus. Yeah. A lot of the work that I'm doing lots of plus sets, pretty much all my sets. So if I'm doing like 3, 4, 5 sets, my last set's always going to be a plus set. So it's going to be like pretty close to failure. 1 to 2 failure. So I'm getting a lot of DOMs at first. The first couple of weeks I was just like constantly aching, but I'm adapting to that a little bit. I'm just used to those 3 and 5 reps.
I hear you.
Yeah, so obviously I've started talking to you straight away, and I know that some of the guys that were training at our place when you was there last time, so it's probably over a year ago now.
Yeah, God, I think it might be nearly 18 months.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be. God, I don't even know. I barely know what year it is now.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what date it is at the minute, Andy.
Actually, no, it was last. Yeah, it was about a year ago, give or take.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it wasn't too cold, so I'm thinking about springtime.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so obviously the guys that were there, they know who you are and they'll recognise your face. But if you give us a little bit of an insight into what you do,
Yeah, sure. Um,
apart from being a really strong deadlifter.
yeah, that's all I got. um, my name's Andy Condon. I've been living over here in England for gosh, more than I've been in Ireland since '96. I came over as a sports science student and sport rehab, and I wanted to get into the whole sports science field. I was really interested in the exercise physiology, all the sport specific training, and yeah, then I realized I wasn't academically. I wasn't quite. I didn't work as hard as I should have. Actually, I don't think I had the skill of learning at that time, and too much going out and what have you. But I got into working in the gym a bit, and then I started to look into the rehab side of things more, and eventually went back to university, did physiotherapy, and I've been doing that the last 15 years. And in the last few years, I've started to, the itch was there for more the sports side of things, the sports scientist in me. And that's when I started to look into courses to do with strength and conditioning and short courses, not the full-on university.
Mm.
And then just reading and watching everything on YouTube I could by strong people I respected, and Instagram, and then reading a lot of different books. So a lot of stuff from like yourself from Juggernaut, reactive training systems. So powerlifting focused. The way that they train things seemed to make sense to me. I was scared to look at Olympic lifting because I lacked the coordination and the grace to do that sort of movement.
Yeah.
Got into kettlebells as well, and yeah. So the last few years, I've been doing I do my NHS job, but I also then do a couple of days a week working in a lovely gym here, Black Country Barbell, where I get to work with people who have more of a bias towards powerlifting, strength training, some CrossFitters, some runners as well. So you get to use your knowledge of sports a bit more and love of training, because I'm a real geek about training. So I'm always happy to talk about training whenever possible. Pretty bored of hind legs often, but yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. Of course the NHS job as well. Yeah,
Awesome.
and yeah, so that's and done a little bit of. I do a little bit of lifting as well.
A little bit. So me and Andy first met when we were very lucky to spend a day with the legendary Ed Coan.
The best.
It was like probably one of the. I don't like saying it was the best day ever, because you got to say kids are the best day ever, meeting your wife, but it was probably one of the best days ever.
Yeah, he lived up to the expectations for me. He was as good of a bloke as I thought he might be. But you kind of look at some of these videos or you read things and you think, oh yeah, this guy's going to be great, and then you meet the person and you're like, oh, they're not quite that. But Ed he had time for everyone. He was he'd take the piss out of everyone. He made everyone feel included, but his body awareness he just had like this magic with his coaching. He could just go over and just do one little thing, and all of a sudden that person was 5% stronger.
Yeah,
10%. It was just
I think if he wasn't so strong and he wasn't such a successful powerlifter, I think he would be an equally successful coach, just from watching him on the day.
Absolutely. I think maybe in some respects, because he is so strong and he and rightly so. He gets to give his seminars, chatting about things and whatnot. He's in high demand that way.
Mm.
He maybe didn't explore. He didn't have the need to explore what it's like to coach people to be successful. I guess he didn't have that itch to scratch. He can just consult and give that info on, because if he did want to coach people, he'd be just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But a lot of people have kind of like washed their hands off him, haven't they, for whatever reasons.
Has there been some blowback against him recently, or?
I don't know about recently, but anything to do with powerlifting, he's never really, like the IPF and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Like, because if you listen back to the whole history of steroids and powerlifting and all that, when he was getting into it, steroids was just an accepted part of the game. And then I think it was all about trying to get Olympic recognition, and
yeah,
it wasn't that he was morally any different to the other. I'm sure lots of the other guys at the time were on a bit of juice as well. But I don't think he took excessive amounts of it, and the juice doesn't lift the weights for you either.
Yeah, well, I agree 100%. Like, it frustrates me a little bit, even though I'm not really got a stance on it. If people want to take it, they can take it. That's cool. If they don't want to take it, that's cool too. But I don't agree with anyone saying that. Oh yeah, he's only lifting that because of X, or just, it's like they've still got to put the training in. They've still got to be able to lift that.
Yeah, no, and he was built like the size of that man's head, and the size of his paws when he just enveloped your whole hand in his. His body was meant to do crazy things.
Yeah. He put his arm around me for a photo, and I felt his hand pretty much all around my ribs, from my back all the way around to my front.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I had somebody, like, I've got a really modest deadlift in comparison to strong people, but it's kind of okay. But I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just because you got long arms and things like that." And actually, do you know that thing, the Vitruvian man with the proportions where he's got the arms out, the legs out? I'm about, my arms are about as long as I am high, maybe an inch different. But I'm not saying this is why Ed was. But Ed had, he had that kind of great ape kind of.
Yeah, well, if you remember He-Man from the 80s,
Yeah,
he's Ram Man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you see him squatting down, you see that neck up like that. Yeah, he's definitely like that. Yeah, that was a great day, and I was really motivating after that, just to, I don't know, just life was good after that.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that he said in the day that were kind of like guest out moments. Those light bulbs like pinging away.
Yeah,
a lot of things made sense after that day.
He didn't feel the need to overcomplicate things. He was very very astute with things, but he didn't try to preach a certain method, that a complex method, and say, I know better. No, he's like, yeah, I did a basic linear periodization. It worked for me, and it was like, I started too light. I used sensible building up, and then I took enough rest between sessions. I went to bed early. I ate a lot, and got my sleep. And he was talking about certain times, like, he wouldn't do things because, like, yeah, I'm just going to rest now. Just going to take it easy. So he didn't burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
But he accepted that. So that was good to hear. He wasn't he wasn't trying to make out like he was able to break the rules.
Yeah. and I'd like to say, because he said, I've heard him say it a few times on different things, but he's quite proud that he's never missed a lift, whether in training or in competition. Well, in competition maybe, but in training he's never missed a lift.
Yeah.
Because he knew exactly what he was lifting, or auto regulation as well, but he never really pushed to failure.
That's it. And I've been reading a fair bit recently. Because even though I've been busy enough working, I've been just been thinking more about things, and I've been getting back into just looking at the basics of general adaptation syndrome and progressive all the basics of training. And one of the tenets is if you kind of go beyond what you're capable of adapting to, your progress is going to stall, or you're going to get hurt. So if you don't hurt yourself, or you don't over fatigue yourself, then you give yourself a chance of being more consistent. And the more consistent you are, the better you're going to get over time, provided you give yourself enough stimuli.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, well, it just makes common sense anyway. If you're tearing yourself up that much in day one of your training, then are you going to be really recovered enough for day two, whether that's going to be in a day's time or 2 days' time?
That's it. Yeah. You have all these heroes who are. So my brother is a great example. He'd be there. I've been doing this really good training, and he just goes and works himself to exhaustion. And I go, okay, so it's good training. What's a good training for? Well, like it's just really good. Why? What does it do? Just to get tired. I was like, do you get better at anything? Do you get measurably fitter, stronger, anything like that? And but in fairness to him, he gets the psychological benefit of it. And it will do something, but it's just I'm always trying to get him to focus, channel his training a bit more, because he's putting all this hard work in, but then he's not getting the return from his investments, because it's like that scattergun approach.
Yeah.
Some of it hits sticks when it hits the wall, but an awful lot of it is just there's no layers built on it.
Yeah.
So you're just exercising, you're not training, I guess we could say. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's funny you mentioned, because I'm writing like a blog series at the moment on specificity. So that kind of it ties into that. So we're talking about, a lot of people have got a lot of spare time in their hands now, and maybe they're out of the gym, so they might want to do other forms of exercising. So people are kind of racking up the miles at the running.
Yeah.
So it is fine, but if you're looking at that line of specificity, we've got absolute strength and absolute endurance. There's going to be a crossover. There's going to be a little bit taken away from that strength, trophy kind of work. As long as people understand that.
Yeah, and I think you see this is something I've been thinking about the last few days. You see all these challenges that are coming up, like the 5K challenges, or I don't know about where you are, but the plank challenge.
There's the t-shirt challenge. I got nominated for the 5K challenge, and I've done that, and I've quickly decided that I'm not going to do another 5, 10, 15, 20K ever.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I decided one day I was going to do the RKC, or the strong first snatch test, and I was going to train up to it.
I saw the post on that. Was it 100 reps?
It's 105 minutes, and I was following a bit of a plan I found, where you were doing 20 seconds of work, then you rested 20 seconds again, and then when you did that a few times, 30 seconds of work, so progressive overload, 30 seconds rest. And by the time I was doing just 30 seconds in 2.5 minutes in 5 minutes, I was doing like 62 reps of the 100. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure like my pace would have dropped significantly because it was pretty tiring. But then I thought to myself, hold on, why have I given myself this arbitrary challenge? So I took a step back and thought, why don't I just get better at doing the snatch and just develop that skill for a while? Because I'm sure I could bust out, let's say I'm sure, like, reasonably confident I could bust out the 105 minutes, but I'd just be doing a lot of crappy reps. I'd just be hoofing the kettlebell up over my head. And that's the prime time where I'm going to strain a shoulder. I'm going to tweak something somewhere or other, or I'm going to pull calluses off my hands. You're gonna rip yourself open and not be able to train for a few days. And for what? Because 105 minutes is. So yeah, I probably will do it in a few weeks' time, but instead I'm thinking, actually, can I get those reps a bit more efficient now? Use enough rest time, and the fitness is going up on it. But I'm
Yeah.
just being a bit more thoughtful, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Volume is increasing, I'm doing it as just a secondary exercise after other things. But yeah, it's just like I see people doing those plank challenges, and they're doing it for time. And I think, well, if your plank is like balsa wood, I'd want a plank that's made of oak. What's the point of that? Your arse is stuck up in the air, or you're humping the ground. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can scale that to different exercises, you know, I want to lift 200 kilo, I want to deadlift 200 kilo. But you've probably got like a 180 at best on the best day ever.
Yeah.
So if you scale it to any exercise and whatever max test you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
That's it. Yeah. It's like you said earlier about specificity, or kind of this is going to pass. This whole COVID, this whole lockdown is going to pass. And if you are working on one end of the spectrum and all of a sudden you jump totally the other side, you're going to be starting from more or less scratch when you get back to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoy your training, have a bit of fun with it, but there's probably more productive things you could do than just kind of going balls out on something just because Johnny O'Reilly and Mary, whoever, I've got into it.
Yeah, I agree.
Tommy Birchie,
I agree. So yesterday, so whatever order this gets put out, I think this is going to be next Monday or Wednesday, Monday probably. But yesterday I was filming with a lady called Paige Boland, and she's a CrossFitter. But probably the most thoughtful approach to CrossFit that you could probably find in someone. So I've known Paige for a few years. She used to train. She's a coach out of our gym. And she was saying exactly the same, you know, rather than being testing all the time, it's progression, you know, there's different levels of people. So people get like a level one, but, you know, like auto-regulating, or so adding in progressions into the movements. So one of my not challenges, but something that I've never ever done, never ever thought about, and I didn't really know until my wife Gail did it, was I've never done a handstand. Not in my adult years. I've never stood on my hands without any support from the wall or anything like that. So I thought, right, I'm gonna try that. So my training at the minute is progressively, hopefully, working up to a handstand. So Paige was talking me through a couple of things, and I was introduced to pike push-ups with my feet on the couch.
Oh yeah.
And that just smoked my shoulders. That I was smoked. But yeah, it was quite humbling, and I still quite like that feeling when you come quite efficient in one movement, and you try something that you've not really tried before, and it is quite humbling, but it's still, there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah. And I think that's an example of something constructive. That's something good. And like it's a useful type of GPP to be able to add on things like that, because you'll be able to, the lessons you learn from that are going to make you a better coach, but also it's going to give you like stronger trunk, stronger shoulders. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Well, in theory, we'll see what the result is, Andy.
I've been reading a book by that guy Ross Edgley, the guy who's flying around Britain.
Oh, right, okay.
And he is an incredibly fit guy, obviously. God knows what motivates him to do the things he's done, like the marathon, pushing a car, or pulling a car, the Olympic distance triathlon with 45 kilo tree on his back, things like that. But the thing I love about his book is he's like the most nerdy sports scientist I've ever kind of met. Well, not met, but know of, because he's just fascinated by it, and he's he's done a load of research himself. He's traveled all over the place to meet all these people who've done phenomenal things, and he relates everything back to things like specificity, progressive overload, things like that. But he's got very interesting stories to back it up. So one of the things in his book was him going over to a remote part of Russia, and this is where he got a lesson in building a base and general physical preparedness from a Russian wrestler called Nikolai. And he got manhandled by this guy in his 60s, a 6'4" Russian bear. And but the guy, after he wrestled him, he felt he'd earned the trust, and he handed him over his journals of his training for the last 30, 40 years. And what he saw was these Russians, these kind of cyborgs from the Eastern Bloc, were just doing squats, lunges. They were just mastering those bodyweight things, push-ups, handstands like you're doing, strict pull-ups, things like that. And they were getting that movement mastery down. So then they were able to apply everything in those basic movements when they had to get more specific towards their sport. So now could be a great time for people to clean up their movement, to work on getting good at doing a basic bodyweight squat, getting good at doing a Romanian single leg deadlift, or arabesque, as some people call it, getting that balance, that coordination of it. Yeah, have fun and do some other things as well. But addressing some mobility issues, or sprint, jump, pull things, pushes, isometrics. There's doesn't necessarily have to be fancy, but circuits are great at the moment. Like
yeah, that's some really, really interesting points, because there aren't no competitions anywhere. There's no sporting events. Whatever competitions people had through this at any point through the year, they're probably not going to happen now. It's a really, really good opportunity, like you say, to like hone in on these certain skills. You can do any of these little niggles that have been bothering people, and they're just playing through things. They've got a lot such. I don't think we'll ever get an opportunity like this again, putting a positive spin in it, to work on all those things that we've been struggling with.
That's it. It's thinking back about how our body adapts. There's the kind of the general adaptation to stress response. But another thing with training is the practice method. So just not going anywhere near failure, but just getting in lots of good reps of things and creating that muscle memory and creating that efficiency and movement, and just the kinesthetic awareness as well. So yeah, even though people don't have, I've seen people do weird stuff to to try and get some stimuli of weight. And sometimes it's okay. They're lifting very odd things, but yeah, you can develop other types of strength at the moment that could create a great base for when you do get back into it. So yeah.
Awesome. So looking behind you, because some people might not know that, but you've got your own setup at your place.
Yeah, I've so at the moment, I'm doing a little bit of private work calls. So I've got my barbell there. I got my safety squat bar. Got a pull down, a treadmill as well, and yeah, lots of different kettlebells and what have you. So I'm pretty well stocked up at the moment.
Excellent. So there's I think, yeah, his episode's already out now, but Dan Davis from Stafford, I think Stoke-on-Trent, his actual gym, what he operates from, is an extended garage right next to his house. So when you go into it, it's a decent sized space. It's I think it's like a double garage.
Oh yeah.
But he's made really good use of like every square inch of it. It's if you get a chance to have a look at that. It's really, really cool. But I think we're going to. One thing that I've done with all these videos is I'm definitely going to, when we get back into where we can travel, I'm going to start making some attempts to go out to some places, put some time aside and start visiting people. Because I think
well, you're more than welcome.
I think I've been threatening to come down to your place, well, since we last met up.
Yeah, life gets busy, but yeah, you're welcome anytime. Yeah, and a shot. Well, of course you can try and the dungeon here, but yeah, Black Country Barbell as well. Yeah, that'll be really good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, I've got to. If people want to get hold of you, Andy, where can they find you? Where can they see your beautiful deadlifts? People might think I'm being like sarcastic or anything there, and the tone I was making, but you've got to check this guy out deadlifting.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say.
But for Ed Coan he just called him Dr. Deadlift for the rest of the day. Saw him deadlift and went, Dr. Deadlift, and that's how they called him for the rest of the day. That's a pretty good. I imagine that you don't call everyone that.
No, well, he did also say like that after seeing you squat and bench, like you had to be good at something. But yeah, no, it was nice. It was really nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'm at. So I work for a company, Mac Physio and Pilates, Mac Physio and Performance. So we're doing online consultations at the moment, Zoom calls. So yeah, if there's anyone out there with training related injuries, they need some troubleshooting to maybe help get over that niggle or address some things. Yeah, we're open for business, and I've got God, I don't even know the name of my thing on Twitter. I think it's Andrew, not on Twitter, on Instagram, Andrew Common Physio. There's just a few things on my list, and I've got to get back into posting a few things there. Yeah, I've kind of gone on a social media. I'm not the most frequent. I'm not great at keeping on top of it. Yeah, the message is that.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm just saying one thing from this is that it's given me more time, or I've made more time, should I say, to post more stuff than I have done for a long time. I mean, this was born out of me being bored while I was training. So it started off with Mikey, who's one of our guys, who's an American football coach.
Oh yeah.
I think he might have messaged me and just said he fancy training online and I just want someone to speak to. I might have asked him. and I liked it that much. I started recording it. I think I actually might have recorded it by accident. But when I was doing that, talking to him, I looked back and I thought it'd be a pretty good idea that to like try and record a few and just get to train with like different people.
That's something I was going to do with a couple of mates of mine here. Is try and do a bit of a session together. We're going to do. Have you ever heard of? Of course, you have Dr. Pat Davidson.
Yeah.
He's got this brutal session, the 30-30, which is 30 big exercises within 30 minutes. So you're trying to get out 15 reps in 30 seconds. So you got your squat in there, your dead, and a few other things. And Jesus, horrible, atrocious.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible, but brilliant at the same time. So we were going to get together and do something like that. But yeah, you got to do what you can at the moment just to keep. It's easy to lose touch with people at the moment. So reaching out and doing things like that, keeping the community aspect of training going, I think is really useful. It's really good.
Yeah.
I've been I keep on saying I've been doing reading recently, and I read a good book recently, The Little Black Book of Training. Now, it's not the one by Christian Thibodeau. It's Dan Cleather. So he's like the program director of strength and conditioning at St. Mary's, and that's been brilliant. That was a great book.
So, Little Black Book of Strength Training, did you say?
Yeah.
Just making a note of it.
Oh, actually. But yeah, one thing I have done recently, I decided, because I've been on all these little courses to do with strength conditioning, kettlebell courses, seminars for lifting. But I thought that I felt like I wanted to kind of push myself a bit more and just up my knowledge a bit more. Little Black Book of Training Wisdom. That's it. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Awesome.
So I've just applied for and thankfully I've been accepted. I'm going to be doing an MSc in strength and conditioning starting in September. So
that's
that
awesome.
would be a nice challenge.
Yeah.
No, it'd be great. My wife is finishing an MRes at the moment, Masters in Research. So next year is going to be fairly mad. But yeah, I guess if you love what you're going to do, it doesn't seem as bad. But I just felt like I had an itch to scratch that I really want to learn from really knowledgeable people about this, and just
Yeah, I think if you're an academic person, you've always got a will to learn. That I don't think that scratch goes away. I think as soon as that itch goes away, should I say? It's as soon as you finish one thing, you're already kind of looking at what you're going to be doing next.
So, yeah, I remember looking a little bit at Masters years ago, and then thinking, I couldn't do that. I've not done well enough, or I've not done this or that. But then I thought just recently, well, hell, why not me?
Yeah.
I'm basically I'm reading books about this stuff all the time and watching all these videos about it. And why not make it official? Why not just, yeah.
Awesome, mate. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it was. So that's led me to one of the things I'm trying to do at the moment, and I'm going to try to get somewhat less than absolutely abysmal at Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's like we were saying back near the beginning, if you're looking at an Olympic lift now, like a perfect Olympic lift, and you're comparing yours current one to that, it is going to suck. It's like it's, but it's the same as, like, you know, whatever what the goal is. I want to lose X amount of pounds, or I want to deadlift X amount of weight, or I want to be able to run X amount of distance. It's that end goal that we're kind of judging ourselves on right now, and it's like, yeah, shit, I'm miles away.
Yeah, you're dead right. So yeah, the other day, like, I tried to do snatches, and that very tough. But that made me think, okay, let's see about doing some form of an overhead squat. And I tried various different types of an overhead squat, and I landed on something that was kind of doable. And that's going to be my starting block. And then from there, it's going to get more specific towards your overhead squat with the Olympic bar overhead. But I'm doing variations with different kettlebell positions. And I found, like, a front rack, I can do a front squat that way. Whereas this position with the kettlebells, trying to do a front squat like that, ropey. But I'm going to get enough challenge from doing the front rack one for a while, and then I'll just gradually ramp it up and make it a bit more specific. So yeah, it's just taking small bites at it to try and get there.
It's awesome, that, mate. You're going to document it?
Maybe I should. Yeah, I could do. I could put some posts out.
I know,
motivate me to keep on top of it.
Myself personally would. I've learned a lot from that. My thoracic mobility is probably I struggle to do it. If I look at this, my hand's right way past the back of my head here to get anywhere near that.
High elbow position.
I do Zerches.
I'm not even thinking about the clean and yeah, that's going to be unique, I think, when I get to doing that.
Yeah, but maybe that's something I need to work on. That's probably something that I need to address. But we've got time.
Yeah, well, that's it. And reading that book, Little Black Book of Training Wisdom, one of the things that is addressed in that book is how we'll sometimes we'll have a bias towards things we like and we're good at, and then we'll have a bias towards things that haven't gone, a bias away from things that haven't gone well the first few times we tried them. And I've said to many people, oh yeah, Olympic weightlifting, it's too complex, it takes too long to learn, don't have this and that to do. Whereas in reality, it was me who, well, maybe they didn't have the mobility or the skills to get good at it, but the person who really didn't was myself. Whereas, so now I'm thinking, actually, let's take that challenge on. Let's see if you can figure some things out about how to gain that. And I'll probably never become a fantastic Olympic weightlifter, but I'll be able to do some method of it, get something out. So you're getting that triple extension, you're getting that explosive benefit, so you're able to pass on to someone else. Maybe not textbook, but some kind of working replica of it.
Yeah,
somewhere close to it.
Whatever the outcome, you'll learn something from it that you can take into your coaching, can't you?
That's it. Because there are, like, quite a few coaches, and like Joe DeFranco, we both know him well from the inner training. He's not that he's against it, but he tends to use different methods to get that explosion in his athletes, and it works really well for him. And then there's Mike Boyle and a lot of the people who's come from his lineage, like Eric Cressy, Ben Bruno, people like that. You don't tend to see them go down that Olympic lifting route. But I think to truly be able to unless you've walked a mile in someone's shoes, I guess you can't really knock an approach. And I don't think I've given it ample chance to as a method of strengthening. So yeah, that's my kind of, not just COVID but post COVID, and for quite a long time beyond, try to figure it out now.
A little cameo from Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to let you get into it. I think this is the first one where I've not done any training, but
Oh shit, man. Is that?
I've really enjoyed it, mate. I always feel that when any time I've spoken to you, I'll come away with something quite valuable. So yeah, I always appreciate that, mate.
Oh Jesus, no! I've talked the hind legs off you there. But yeah, waffling on. Sorry about that. We didn't get any training done, so.
Well, I'm going to train after this. Like I said, I've got another meeting. Well, Zoom catch up with the guys from the gym.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of new things to go over on that one, and then I'm going to train after that. Get some training. It's getting a little bit cooler as well, so it might be a little bit more bearable. See if I try and get my training done early morning where it's still quite cool, but if I miss that window, then it's probably after about 6ish when I start getting in.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and it stops me opening a couple of beers in the evening as well.
Yeah, well deserved.
Oh, thanks, Andy. Thanks for your time, mate.
That's all right. Hopefully you got something of use there. Something.
Always. Like I said, every time I speak to you, I come away with something. And like I said, I'll get this recorded and we'll put it up for next, probably Wednesday.
Come on. And hopefully you don't have to edit too much waffle out of it.
Oh no, I don't edit anything. It all goes in. It all goes in. I had a catch up with Devon, who's based in Alabama, and he's got the record. It's 1 hour 39 minutes.
Oh yeah, the fellow with beard.
Yeah. So he's the one to beat. Oh, mate, but definitely. I think what'll be good as well is next time is if we get on, I'll probably get Ben to jump in as well.
Okay.
Who's a physio over at our place? You met Ben?
Yeah, I met Ben. Yeah.
I have a few of us, and then I can be really selfish and learn off like 2 or 3 people all at the same time. Make notes.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And of course, like I pick stuff up from you as well, and I pick stuff up from Ben. So take stuff wherever you can get it. So yeah, sounds good to me.
Oh, excellent. Well, appreciate
good to
time,
see you, Andy.
Oh yeah, it's always good to see you, mate.
And hopefully, I'll get to see you within the next, in the flesh, like within the next few months.
Between 3 months and 3 years, somewhere in between that window.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, good. Stay safe, mate.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy, man.
Take care, pal. Thank you.
No problem. Bye now.